Can you hear me now? This fucking thing with the audio. Can you hear me now? Oh, la 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 la. All right. Yeah, this thing gets stuck. Most annoying thing in the world. All right, so let's start real quick. Equal-weighted ETF, broad market, trying to punch through, hasn't done it yet. Dividend-weighted S&P hasn't punched through either. So far we know it's not the broader market that's pushing the market higher. The VIX, be aware, it's still rounding bottom, even though it's pulled back, okay, still rounding bottom. So that's a little caution sign for us. New York Stock Exchange did break through. Let's see if it's going to hold and close above it. All right, so that would be another push higher. Dow Jones Industrial Average pushing higher, but still within the wedge. S&P 500 tested the previous high. It's still holding above it. Let's see if that's going to push a little higher. But again, I urge caution. It's still within the F flag. NASDAQ broke through, and it's in clear territory. It can, boom, run from here. So far, it's consolidating. That's bullish. High base consolidation is a good thing for the bulls as long as price remains above here. Okay, so if it continues to, you know, go back and forth, look for the next move up. It's not a bad thing. Small caps, kind of, going back and forth. It's not as clear as I would like for it to be. It's got a V-ish shape again. Okay, it's just it keeps doing the same thing over and over. It's a little frustrating. You got a wedge here, right, on this one here. You got a wedge in here now. You got a wedge in the bigger time frame. It's having difficulties for sure. Transportation, not very convincing. This is the other little telltale sign that be careful, right? It's an M pattern. We can make an argument this is bullish, okay? That it thrusted up, it went into an M pattern, and then it will continue higher. Fair enough, but we're not doing that yet. So we look at this as an M pattern topping until it breaks out. All right, maybe I should even draw it out. So we're aware of this for the next video. Okay, so let's see what it does. IPO punched through. We were talking about this one. Look for this one to start to push higher. IPO is all the new IPOs, right? Initial public offerings, and that's pushing higher. All right, nice little convincing thrust through. If you look at the fangs, again, they're not very convincing. So we know it's not the broader market so far. We looked at eco-weighted S&P. We're looking at the fangs. They're pushing, but nothing significant. So what's pushing the markets higher? See, that's again another red flag. You got to be cautious of these things because transportations are not pushing higher. VIX is not really all that low. Market leaders are not really doing it. The broader market is not really doing it. Risk on is not really doing it. And you're at all-time highs. It's a little funky. Europe pushed through very nicely. Okay. Again, this is considered the value play. This is considered what you want to be buying to catch up to all the other markets. If you missed out, everybody's running to these things now. And you can see that very clearly because it's breaking out of a long-term trend that started back in 2017, and it's breaking out. Overall, in Europe, you had a nice little rising channel thing. It broke down, stayed, tested, breaking out now. So let's see if it can at least come up to the previous high here. Okay. I think, given everything the way it's performing, that this is very likely. Okay. And from where we are right now, it's another about 5%. About 5%. So look for this one to continue to push higher. UK, still trying to figure out what the hell it wants to do, right? Broke out, they'll follow through, going sideways, but remember that the currency is appreciating. So that's not necessarily good for the stock market, right? You got to look at both. You can't just look at one and make a determination. So I kind of understand why the UK or the FTSE is not performing uh, a little bit more bullish. And we'll talk about more about that for the US stock market. Head test is gone for Germany, right? Broken through. Everything is beautiful and happy. Testing the previous high. This is one of the strongest economies in Europe. So look for that to continue to push higher. Denmark is the other very strong economy that's pushing up very nicely. Perhaps if I do it like this, you can see it better. World Stock Market Index continues to push higher. This is the same thing, okay, as the Wilshire. Airlines is still consolidating. I still think they're going to have one more up. All right, that's a bullish formation. Okay, so look for one more up in airlines. Should happen today, tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see. My little indicator that I have made, just going sideways. Again, broader market, catch-up plays, they're not performing. China, really nice breakout today. Continuing to be in this channel here. All right. No breakdown yet. We still expect this one to break down at some point. Let's see how this performs. CQQ. This one I've been talking about, I don't know for how long now, I guess about a week or so. Look for this one to push higher. It broke out, structure above a structure, right in here, right, broke out, build pressure, and then boom, starting to take off. I expect this one to really go. And CQQQ is the fangs of China. Nifty 50 continues to plow higher up against the resistance. Japan still hasn't broken out. Look for a breakout here for sure. Okay. Again, what's happening here? The currency is having um, difficulties because it's appreciating against the dollar. So keep that in mind. All right. I want you guys to be savvy. I want you to be thinking correctly. Right. Don't just be the it's going up kind of guy. Yeah. Going up in the context of the currency. You got to think about these things. Um, Taiwan, nothing. Cosby, nothing. That's Korea. Saudi is getting ready to break out, right? Oil is almost at 50, so that makes sense. This should break out, so that's a good little buy right there. Australia broke out, okay. Uh, this is interesting because in Australia, it's a really nice move because the currency has been appreciating substantially, and you have the same thing now with their index. So this is one of the nice plays. And let me just kind of show you what I mean. USD. Sorry. I keep pushing this one button, and it keeps doing that funky shit. All right, let me do that for you again. Star. Let's use a different star. Australian dollar, USD slash 100. All right, so look at this one. See it? This is currency adjusted for the Australian dollar and the stock market. And you can see how the stock market is outperforming despite the strengthening currency, right? So everything is going in the right direction. This is a wonderful combination to own, right? Because not only are you getting appreciation in the index, but the currency in of itself is appreciating at the same time. So that's very good. That's what you want to see. Hello, Vic. How are you, my friend? Welcome. We missed you. How about that Bitcoin, baby? Woo! Love it. All right. So just remember that, guys. Brazil, Copa del Mundial de Brasil. All right, pushing higher, looking really nice. It still hasn't hooked, so this is not valid. All right, so just keep that in mind, please. Emerging markets breaking out, right? So that's very good for them. Again, it's that catch-up play, right? You want to be buying Europe and you want to be buying emerging markets right now because the leaders are not doing it, the broader market is not doing it, the small caps are not doing it. All right. BRICS. BRICS pulled back a little bit, pausing. All right. Um, so let's see this one continue to push higher. So VGK, BKF, which is BRICS, emerging markets, those are all buys, right? All right. Forget about Istanbul. Real estate, not doing a whole hell of a lot. And in fact, I should get rid of a lot of this stuff because it's very noisy. We're looking for a double top here. Let's see if that holds. Right, we do expect this one to push higher, so I'll keep this one. I'll keep this one. I just redraw it. Get rid of all this. All right, there we go. A little bit nicer. Okay, so it's breaking out. It's breaking out. But remember, this is a little funky because it's commercial real estate in this stuff. Okay, it's like American Towers, right? And American Towers right now, it's not. It's a great buy down here. Don't get me wrong. Okay, but it's not really doing a whole hell of a lot, and it has nothing to do with housing, right? So just kind of be aware of this. You can go and take a look at it. Uh, where is that ETF? You always want to look at the holdings. VNQ. Come down here. And the website is ETF.com, okay? So you can see, look, American Towers is 7.5. Vanguard Real Estate Index 2. The fuck is that? That's another fund. That's 12%. Prologis is 5%. Crown Castle, it's not like Toll Brothers and so forth. So just kind of be aware of that. What I'm interested about this is when things start to blow up in the in the commercial real estate market, how that's going to behave. I think that's going to be interesting. All right. Where the fuck was I? One second. All right. Financials. Okay, these are the value. Okay, value, quote unquote. Uh, Bullish flag. Pure banking not doing so good. Oil at the top of the range, trying to go incredibly bullish. All right, so it's just continuing within it. One, two, three. All right, see what it does. Uh, Gold. I love you, gold. uh, nice. Okay, so it's a one, two, three up. One, two, three up. All right, that's good. So let's kind of move the bar here a little bit. All right, so it should hold above this line now. Let's get rid of this other stuff so it's not as noisy. All right, so we really need to see this one break out. This one going to the moon. Just got to be a little bit more patient. Let me mark that for the next time so you all know that I called this. You don't say, oh, after the fact you told us. No. One second, please. One second. All right, sorry about that. All right, silver, baby. I don't trade this thing until recently. Bought the breakout up very, very nicely. Um, very happy with it. And I expect this one to continue to go higher. All right. Commodities kicking ass all over the place. Uh, DBC is the ETF that you would want to buy for commodities. That's kicking ass. New to me. Uh, the commodities DBC, is that correct? Or silver? Ah, yeah. All right, so that's kicking ass all over the place. Yeah, silver. And here's precious metals. They're breaking out as well. So we called this one already a while back that this was going to eventually break out. And sure enough, it has. Let me fix this again. I hate when these lines move. Okay. So if you want to have a nice diversified portfolio of precious metals, you can buy DBT. It's a nice little ETF. All right. Base metals continue to kick ass. Steel soaring. Palladium still kind of weak. It's going to be interesting when this goes. All right, one more up. You're going to actually, you know, dabble in this one a little bit. On the break, of course, always. That's understood. Copper kicking ass. The thing with copper is it's not like there's all this investment going on in the world, right? But I want you to think about these commodities as other nations diversifying their holdings um, in reserves other than the dollar. So don't think of it like, well, the CPI is not doing anything. Yeah, but CPI only measures the inflation within the productive economy. All right, because I'm getting a lot of people that are confused about this stuff. All right, here's the productive economy. This is where you and I live. This is the 95% here. Okay, the CPI. This is what it measures. If I could draw. Okay, that's a funky looking P. All right, that's the CPI. This is what it measures. The thermometer goes right here. It doesn't measure asset price inflation. It doesn't measure all the money that flows out of the productive economy via household income to savings, profit savings for the top 5%, and then that goes into asset prices. See, it doesn't. There's no thermometer here for that. That's what we see every day. And it's also the foreign investment that is pumped into the market. So keep that in mind as well. 1 second, I got a phone call. Sorry, this sucks. 1 second. All right, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so there's no thermometer for that. Um, Also, you get, the lower the dollar is, the more money, the more shares that foreign investment can come in and buy of American uh, stocks and bonds. So what happens is, if you're going to buy 1,000 shares and it's down 12%, now you can buy 800 with the money that you would pay 880 shares, you can get now 1,000 shares, right? You can increase, you can own more, so you can own about 12% more stocks. So if foreign investments believe that the dollar is going to be down temporarily and then start to appreciate, well, they're gonna get that effect that they get from Australian index, where the currency is going up and the stock market is going up. Okay, so you're going to see that foreigners will diversify also into commodities, or they'll go out and buy something like copper. Not necessarily because of the demand; it's because of the weaker dollar. Okay, so keep that in mind. I know there's some confusion, and it is a little bit confusing. I agree. I agree, but it's not the demand kind of inflation that we're talking about here. It's the monetary inflation we're talking about. Agriculture continuing to push higher. You know, this one I thought would push a lot higher. But then I thought about it. I'm like, well, why the fuck is this thing soaring? Well, imagine now in a pandemic, if they did pump a lot of money into this, you go to the supermarket and everything is much more expensive. You want to talk about social unrest? Everybody would fucking freak. And don't think that they don't understand that, food to income at 60% causes social unrest. They know that. They understand that. That's historic rule of thumb. So keep an eye on this. I think this is the social unrest indicator. That if this does push a lot higher, people are not going to be happy. All right, sugarcane, bull flag towards the upper end. Corn pushing a little higher. Wheat is still, below this trend line here. So look for this one to also break out at some point. You know, agriculture inflation is going to come, like it or not. It's going to come at some point, but just not now. Soybeans are pushing higher. Forget about natural gas. Bitcoin. I love you, Bitcoin. How many people were like, "Oh, look at the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is down. Look at it." It's crapola, my friend. It's crapola. Yes, I don't like the Bitcoin. And now where are they? Where are they now? Um, Gone. Just because of this stupid little move. And I made a Thanksgiving video. I said, you gotta buy. Don't get fooled with this shit, right? I too thought that you would get some deeper correction than push higher. Okay, to be fair. But I hate people that say to be fair. Well, when am I not fair? Anyway, nice, incredibly bullish breakout. 27,000, 30,000, and then up to 36,000. It's coming. It's coming. Is it coming sooner rather than later? I don't know. But where are all those people that were fucking, shitting on Bitcoin? And if you look at Bitcoin, uh, there's not even that many people that are even Googling it in the past 12 months. And if you go back a little more, no, it's not what I want. Last 5 years. Look how high we were back in 2017 versus now. Okay? It's got a ways to go. I'm telling you right now, it's got a ways to go. And remember, I was saying buy down here below 5,500. Buy below 5,500. Look where we are today. Yeah, not too many people know that, unfortunately. Litecoin, all right, pushing higher. Very, very big move. Again, I prefer the Bitcoins than these things. Ethereum pushing higher. This one actually you can probably buy now. Okay, right here at $640 and above, you can buy this one all day long. Um, I'll bless this one. How about that? This one is blessed. All right. Let's get rid of this. It had a little topping. Uh, when you start getting these roof home thingies, usually they start to fall apart. But this one took off. But here, this is a really nice breakout you can buy. How about Ripple? It's gonna go higher. I don't like it. I don't like the setup. Dollar. Yeah, baby. Remember this? Nice little flag here. We had another one up here. Right? They're all falling apart, the dollar. Um, Another 2% lower. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about this one. Um, Hold on. Oops. Wrong thing. All right. So here's what. Sorry. Here it is. All right. So I've been showing this chart here for quite a while that the stock market is only going higher because the dollar is falling. And that's been going on now for 9 months. So I did a couple of measurements. And the first measurement that I did was from the bottom, somewhere in the middle, up to here. So you see in the stock market go up about 60%, while the the dollar has fallen about 12%. Okay, say 12%. So that's about, what is it, 6 times, right? So for every 1% that the dollar falls, the stock market goes up 6%. That's from the start. Fair enough. How about more recently? Well, you want to grab the bottom here and say, okay, it's up 14%, the last bottom, and at the same time, from the top of the dollar, it's fallen about 4.86%. So we went from a 6 to 1 to a 3 to 1. That's what we're doing most recently. So for every 1% that the dollar falls, the stock market rises another 3%. So if you were to assume that the dollar is going to fall another 2%, then the market has another 6% up, right? So 1.73, you got about, 5% higher in stocks. If the dollar starts to bounce from here, right, the reverse is true. So be aware of that, because this is a potential area of reversal. And you don't have to be a dick for a tick. So anywhere between here and here, anywhere around here, look for a bounce at least. Okay? Because this is the classic tight, 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 boom. All right. See, that's another little red flag for the markets. And that's why I keep saying that, as long as the NASDAQ can maintain above this previous high right here, as long as it can maintain above this, you're good to go. If it comes back in, you're not good to go. That's going to be where people start puking shit up. All right? So be aware of that. Be aware of that. Give me 1 second, please. 1 second. All right, I'm back. All right, so let's see how this is going to perform. Again, high bases, they're fine. They're okay as long as it remains above the previous high. Small cap. Oh, why am I back here? Okay, here's the other thing I want to show you about the dollar. We're going to do again NDX times Dixie divided by 100. And here we are again. Did we make a new high? Dollar adjusted? No. No, we haven't. Okay, so again, it's another red flag. The market is going up nominally, not in real terms. And that's problematic. Okay, now the setup is bullish. I'll give you that, right? You got this nice little bullish setup here. You got higher lows, all right? But it hit a wall now. Hit a wall. So it's not a true breakout as far as I'm concerned, because I'm taking the currency, the full package, into account. All right? So please keep that in mind. All right. This is a special drawing rights of the IMF, also coming into a previous area of potential reversal. Now remember, special drawing rights are another form of reserve currency. They're made up of a basket of currencies worldwide, which include the Chinese yuan. A lot of countries like to own these. There's not a lot of them. There was a lot that was increased in 2008. Russia owns them. Qatar owns them. It's just like gold. It's another reserve currency. So it's been really screaming higher. And it broke out. We talked about it with my subscribers. I wasn't making videos here before, but it broke out all the way back here. And look at it since. That's a huge move. So always pay attention to these things. That's a for two world reserve currencies going at it. 4% move is a very big move. Dollar Japan, right? Pushing lower. Broke the previous low. It continues to grind. Euro US dollar. We talked about this one. This is a fucking go, right? It's a high base, nice little V bottom. Boom. Not V bottom, but V shaped flag. Off it goes. Breaking the bigger structure here. That's a big deal. Okay, it's a big deal. The pound. We talked about this one as well. Look at this one. It's tested us so many times in inverse head and shoulders. This thing is going to go. Well, it's going today. That's another one we called. I called. There's no we. I guess me and my dick. I don't know. Euro pound. Not doing anything. Dollar Turkish lira. Imagine the dollar is even falling against the lira. How embarrassing is that? Seriously. How embarrassing is that? Okay. So it's at support. The likelihood is that it's going to bounce, but that's just fucking embarrassing as shit, to be honest with you. Dollar ruble. Dollar's falling down against the ruble. More embarrassment. USD CAD. Now this one is starting to look a little bit bullish. And I'll show it to you here. It's a falling F flag. This is going to need to correct at some point. All right. There it is. Okay. Tight, tight, tight. Pointing in one direction. It's going to do the opposite. Again, I think that is that's a red flag, because if you're selling dollar, buying stocks, if the dollar starts to pop, then you're going to start selling stocks, right? So with that mentality in mind, um, to me it's a red flag. Let me get rid of this stuff. And these are all calls that we made before, that this was going to fall apart and so forth. So go back and look at the videos. All right. Australian dollar kicking ass. New Zealand dollar's kicking ass. I've been saying it all the way down here, that this is really going to take off. It's been doing it very nicely. Dollar falling even against the peso, and dollars falling against the won. Okay, there it is. So there's a little flag. Now it's starting to break down. But again, this is setting up as a little bullish formation. All right. And I'm going to mark this one. So when it does come, you don't say I didn't tell you so. But overall, I think eventually it's going to make its way down here. 6.4 to the dollar. Okay. It's just, when is it going to do it? Euro index breaking out, as we talked about. US dollar, I'm sorry, 10-year bond breaking out, not very convincingly. So again, what is it trying to do? Push higher. How good of a job is it doing it? Not very. So always ask yourself those questions. Let's look at the tip versus TLT. Not doing a very good job breaking out, right? The higher the tip leads, the more inflation it sees. Okay. Again, monetary inflation, not CPI inflation. Don't confuse the two, please. IBB, we talked about this one breaking out. Right, we had this already in place, and sure enough, it has broken out. Hotels versus airlines has broken a long-term trend line. Again, we talked about that this was going to break out, and it has. No follow-through yet. Let's look at the shitty Royal Caribbean, broken down. Norwegian is breaking down. Carnival is breaking down. Let's look at the FAGs. Apple's going incredibly bullish. Amazon broke out yesterday, no follow through. Microsoft, no follow through, has broken out. Facebook, weak. Netflix, trying to push the incredibly bullish. Google, it's actually breaking the flag. So that's interesting, right? So you see, it's not the market leaders that are pushing the market higher. And that's interesting. That's interesting, right? Small caps are not doing it. Broader market is not doing it. Fags are not doing it. So why is the market going higher? Red flag. Red flag. Nvidia, not doing it. Tesla. Oh, Tesla. All right. Nice little push up here. All right. But nothing to it. Still structure below structure. All right. And if we are going to resize it, okay, then the support area is going to be somewhere down here. All right. So maybe goes a little bit higher, comes back, perhaps goes a little higher, and then look for the ultimate drop. PayPal, we had marked this one. I said I like this one. It's going to take off. It has, looking really good. The other one I liked was Shake Shack. Okay, I didn't mark this one, but I was eyeballing it. Up 5% for today. All right, let's look at airlines. Delta, it's got that same formation as Jets. American Airlines, these are going to pop at some point. They will. Alaska tried to break out, no follow through. JetBlue has not followed through with a breakout. Spirit not doing anything. Allegiant tried to break out, no follow through. Hawaiian Airlines, nothing. SkyWest actually dropped more today, new low. Ryanair, forget about them guys. EasyJet, nothing. Copa rolling over. China Eastern breaking down. Turkish came up, and this is in lira, so remember that. Okay. If you really want to know what Turkish Airlines is doing, and I'm going to do this exercise one more time, I think it's important for you guys to start to get this. Turkish lira USD slash 100. This is the real Turkish Airlines in dollars. Okay. And you can see that the airline is actually, if you bought the airline stock, you've actually lost your ass. Okay, even though it looks like it's going up, in dollar terms, it's down 66%. So keep that one in mind. All right. Occidental Petroleum, you know, still in a nice uptrend. I'll skip these for now. Okay. I'll leave some other stuff for my subscribers. Please, guys, don't forget, come down, patreon.com/RealMacro. Come down, subscribe, 24/7 live chats. And you can see my portfolios. You can see my trades. Although sometimes you don't want to see them because it's embarrassing. But it's okay. It's okay. You'll learn more from my mistakes than you will from my victories. I promise you that. Promise you that. All right, so let's look at what's going on in the NASDAQ. Let's go down to a daily. All right, a lot of noise, no follow through, building that pressure. Let's see what this is ultimately going to do. It's an expansion for sure. Okay, so this is what's going on. All right. Right now, still a rising wedge. It's still bearish, and that's the problem. No matter how high it goes, you're always going to be running into that bearish structure. It's just it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to correct. Okay, it's a matter of when, not if. So we'll see. We'll see. You know, if this is going to follow through. Remember, if the dollar falls another 1.75, you get another, 5-6% to the upside, assuming that count starts from here. Let me do this. And I'll mark it now so you guys don't say I did it after the fact. Another 5% would be up here somewhere. Come on, baby. Right around, let's make it 5. Right there. All right, so that'll be my target. All right. Also, if you look at the stimulus that's supposed to come, right, that's going to get pumped into the market as well. Now, think about it, that, stimulus, quote unquote, for the people is supposed to stimulate, right? It's supposed to grow GDP, but but it's not working that way. You're actually getting negative GDP growth. So you print $1 of deficit, you should get $1 of GDP. We're getting something like, I don't know, 80, 60 GDP for every dollar we print. So we're behind the curve. So when the Fed comes out, it's like, yeah, we got more tools. Really? Do you? Huh? With the dollar falling, how much more you think you're going to print? How much more you think you're going to QE before you get into the dollar crisis? There's limits to things always. And those who have convinced you, like MMT, that there isn't, they're going to fuck you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's not a if, it's a when. It's a when. So we got another 10 minutes left to go in the session. Let's look at the market internals. Let's see what that is doing. La, 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 la. So remember, we looked at everything. Let's see what's leading the market. Materials, healthcare, and real estate. Is that a bullish market? No. What's lagging? Energy, communications, financials. Okay, so this is not what you should be seeing leading the market. How about the last 5 days? Information technologies, yes, that's good. Consumer discretionary, real estate, and what's lagging? Energy, financials, industrials. All right, that's cool. I can live with that. Again, if you are asking what it should look like, uh, that's the top. Where is the sector one? I don't have it here. I'll find it. I'll find it. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Anyway, the overall market has been very green today. Everybody's happy worldwide. Everything is green. Telecom and energy are a little bit lagging, flat for the day. But yeah, yeah. All right. So let's see what it's below 90 now. It's below 90. People are like, don't worry about it until it's below, 75. Okay. You get to 75, you're gonna be hurting. You will be hurting. All right. Let's see what the last 2 minutes does. When it starts to break this trend line here and here, that's usually a bearish signal. Okay. Because look at this. First test, second test, third test, fourth test. See how it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller? Okay. That just kind of signals that, hey, I'm getting a little bit tired here. I need to correct, either through time or price. So please keep that in mind. All right. Yep. Australian dollar is the best, and you should hold that for a long time. You should hold it for a long time. Not only are they commodity driven, not only are they running balanced budgets, not only are they dealing with COVID, okay, um, they have some difficulties with China. Apparently, somebody told me recently that they're kind of jousting back and forth, jerking themselves off. But it really hasn't affected the markets or the currency. So remember that Australia is commodity driven. Commodities are kicking ass, right? You want to own the Australian dollar. And there's also another reason to own it, but you have to subscribe. Come down to patreon.com/RealMacro. I'll tell you the other reason why. It's got a long way up. Any other questions? Por favor. Yeah, I hate the to be fair. To be fair. In all honesty, what the fuck? You lie every other time? I would not do good in a board meeting. Well, I broadly agree. That's a fuck you, by the way. When they say, well, I broadly agree. No, you don't. You're just being polite. All right. The last 2 minute pump, man. Look at that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's crazy. You know, we're doing 250,000 cases a day. So we do a million about every 4 days. We got 3,400 people dying per day. The top 50 companies or 45 companies out of the top 50 are making profits, but they laid off 100,000 people. And that's why you see that corporate profits soaring. A lot easier to get rid of fucking humans than it is to uh, to make revenue and profit. You got um, hospitalizations at 100 and what is it, 14,000 now? So that's kicking ass all over the place. You got the Fed buying bonds, corporate bonds, and you got a stimulus, another one on the way. We have a stimulus already in place. Long-term unemployment is soaring, and stocks are at all-time high. I don't, honestly, I don't. Well, the stocks don't reflect the economy. Yeah, okay, well, they don't. But they do have to reflect earnings per share. And earnings per share, we didn't take a look at that today, by the way. Earnings per share is down to 2.67, which is the lowest we've seen it. 2.67. That's core CPI is 1.6 or something, right? So you're doing 1% above inflation for now, but the higher it goes, uh, I'm sorry, the higher the stock price goes, the lower the earnings yield. Well, you're going to end up in negative earnings yield, even in stocks, not only bonds. So that's extraordinarily expensive. Even if you were to increase earnings by another 1%, which is a lot in the next 12 months, even if you were to do that, you're still going to be below 3.6, 3.5, right? And if inflation goes to 2%, you're still barely above it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Somebody asked me about miners. I don't do miners. I don't do these things. I don't. I don't know. It's a bullish setup, that's for sure, right? Maybe I should, maybe you can see it like this better. It's a bullish setup, so yeah. So silver miners can, they look like airlines, right? They can really break out here. And how much is the move? About 10%, I guess. Oh shit, 16%. Yeah, bucket. Buy it. I might buy it. That's a nice bullish setup. I'll add this one to the list. Again, that's just pure charting, right? It's got nothing to do with anything else. All right. Clearly, at this point, there's no need to measure point of control, right? Because you're at all-time highs. You're way above point of control. Point of controls matter when there's sideways movements, when the market is falling, you want to see a potential area of bottoming or pausing. That's when you use point of control. So, for example, here, point of control is about 12,500 from the bottom, the recent bottom. All right, that's it. Market close. So, uh, if we are to get lower dollar, I'm telling you what the target is right now. Uh, it's going to be 13,369. Okay, I'll mark that. That's where we can go. Crazy, I know, but you're in the clear. There's nothing stopping you right now. There's nothing to stop the market. There's no shorts left. All the shorts are dead. They're finished. All right. It's just buyers bidding up prices on themselves. That's it. Have at it. Let them do it. We closed on a high for the day. All right, but we're still within this wedgie looking formation. And S&P 500, it's got that V shape. So perhaps tomorrow more upside. Okay. There you go. Small caps really pushed up into the close, going towards the top here. It's got about 0.2%. Okay, so keep that one in mind. Transportation's still in the sideways move. IPO is not doing anything. That's about it. All right, guys. So I'll talk to you soon tomorrow, and have a great night. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you. Bye bye.